Hey there, StarCraft fans! It's Falcon Paladin coming at you with yet another edition of StarCraft2 Legacy of the Void and your Sunday series. It's going to be Innovation and Solar in a best of 5 from Homestory Cup 2018 that wrapped up a couple of weeks ago. And game number 1 will be on Lost and Found. Top right-hand corner of this very standard map is the Red Terran player. His name is Innovation, which you can see here. OG Inno is the clan tag, Barcode is the name. And in the bottom left-hand corner, it is the Blue Zerg player, Solar. Oh, Solar, such a great Zerg player. Koreans on both ends here. Really high level, elite level stuff coming at you here today. Innovation has not been doing super well in the pro scene for 2018. I cast him as part of the WESG qualifiers for Korea, and he just didn't look that great overall. I don't know. He seemed to be struggling a little bit, and there were some concerns that maybe he was practicing a lot on the newest patch, as the qualifiers for WESG were played on the old patch. Some of them were anyway. Maybe he just wasn't ready to go back to the old patch for those. Was preferring to just practice all his time on the new one and wasn't quite up to the meta. I don't know. It's really confusing, but he's been looking a lot better. And here in Homestory Cup, a lot better in some more recent events. So it's going to be Innovation versus Solar here. Solar, his macro is amazing, his micro is amazing. His creep spread is also very, very good most of the time. And I just can't wait to see what he's going to do here versus Innovation, who is just, he's been a robot, man. He's just been really just on task, really on point. You can't distract him with much. His upgrades are always fantastic. His decision-making and micro has just been amazing as well. So it's going to be a clash of two Titans here. I expect some incredibly good play from both of these players. And let's name this Reaper. Reaper's name is Bloodhunter. Bloodhunter was once set to be the new greatest 90s anti-hero ever. He was a vampire with a knife with 5 unnecessary pointy bits, a gun, body proportions that even Rob Liefeld wouldn't sign off on, and the character depth of a bag of broken glass. Then someone took one look at his comics cover and sentenced him instantly to death via the Reaper program. Bloodhunter is actually happy as a 90s anti-hero gets at any rate, and being a named Reaper is the most attention this character has received in the better part of 2 decades. In parentheses, seriously, if you ever want to see the ugliest comic book cover, look up a Bloodhunter comic, and you will know what I'm talking about. Wow, alright, that's a good one, man. 90s anti-hero stuff. It was an interesting time for comics, it really was. People wanted the anti-hero. America was like, yeah, could we just have, like, Spider-Man and Captain America and stuff? And they were like, no, we must have these dark and brooding people with no personality. You like that stuff, right? And America was like, no, not actually, we don't. Nope. So Reaper here to defend against the Lings that are not coming across the map here. Solar, did he make any Lings at all? Yeah, he's got 4 because he's not an idiot. But he's only got the 4, and they're just hanging out here to defend in case the Reaper comes across to try to kill them. What's funny is in the mid-2000s, the anti-hero, the male anti-hero, really became kind of the big thing, right? You got Breaking Bad, you got Mad Men, you got House, you got all these shows with, like, white male dudes who are effectively bad dudes, but kind of understandable in their evil in certain ways and just kind of hard to super root against. Yeah, it's a weird time. So they were just too early, I guess, with the anti-hero stuff in the comics. Or maybe we don't go to the comics for that stuff anyway. Alright, so Lings do have speed, which means the Reaper needs to get the heck on out of there. Run. Overlord going in for the scout is going to see... the factory still has the reactor. That indicates that we are probably going to have some more Hellions. Though it's not building anything strangely enough. Is he going to scout this here? Starport, he doesn't see the starport with the tech lab on it. Okay, so Cloak Banshees are on the way. Solar does not know about it. The fact that he only saw a factory and no additional barracks should say, alright, there's a chance this is going to be Banshees. So maybe I should throw down some spores. Maybe I should go for a lair. One of those things would be real nice at some point here, Solar, but he knows what he's doing. He knows what he saw. You don't have to throw down the spores now because Cloak can't be done now. Cloak is going to be done in, like, I don't know, a while, maybe 40 seconds or so. We'll keep an eye on that. In the meantime, we've got the Hellions and the Reaper. They're friends forever here. Bloodhunter is very happy to have some friends that shoot fire out of their heads. Really fits with his aesthetic, as it turns out. Does he have any kills at all? Of course he doesn't have any kills. By the time he got here, the Lings had speed. So there are additional Hellions here. So that additional read by me was accurate. There were going to be more Hellions coming in, but we're switching definitely to the bio stuff at this stage. 3 Queens versus 6 Hellions and a Reaper and a Choke. The Queens got this. They got this because of Transfuse. They got this because of range. They got this because they have the creep spread out there. They're pushing in different directions with that creep spread. I'm loving it. I really am. Zergling says, I see your 3rd command center in the wall. That means you're going to go for a 3rd base, which means this isn't a 2 base all in. which means I can macro up even harder right now. Makes 10 drones. Making 10 drones right now. Oh, creep 2 Murs. Is he going to let... Innovation, no. Don't let these finish. Oh, he let those 2 finish. He could have shut those down easily. And now the creep's coming up. He's going to have to use a scan. Oh, but Cloak Banshee is present. Oh, guess who doesn't have detection? Solar. Solar doesn't have detection. Look at him. Ah, look at him scampering around trying to get spore colonies up and spore colonies, right? Spore colonies up. Dude, you could have come into this base and gotten some more stuff done. Is that another Banshee? That is another Banshee. 5 kills, 5 drones down. Just because static defense was considered unnecessary. Now going for a lair and a Baneling nest. Does he even have a spore over here at his third? He doesn't. Oh, he does. It's right here. Just not in the place I was looking for it specifically. Once again, Hellions trying to poke on in. Once again, 3 queens. Say, we 3 queens of Orient are. We're not letting you kill any of our stuff. Thanks for playing. Anyway, though. So, double Cloak Banshee sneaking on into the main base. Going to try to pick off some of these drones at the periphery while not getting killed by this queen. Although, maybe they can kill the queen. There's no transfuses here. And, wow, queen down. Ling's getting picked off. Just trying to get damage wherever you can. If you're a Banshee pilot, you just try to kill whatever you can. Getting shots off on the lair doesn't seem all that useful. Maybe sniping off the spawning pool would be nice. Where's the detection here? Hold up. Hold your horses. Is that spore? Did that spore give detection way over here? The range for detection is always confusing to me. Exactly how far they can detect is further than they can attack, which always makes it a little bit hard to read, but geez, that was crazy long detection range. Creep spread still happening here. 4th base on the way from Solar. About 50% complete now. 3rd base is done for Innovation. Innovation up a little bit here, I would say. He's got fewer workers, but having 3 bases up at this point where the Zerg player doesn't have 4 yet is a very beautiful place to be. And Hydralisk Den now finishing. We're going for a Ling Hydra thing, with Baneling's speed being researched to not just speed, but also that little HP boost that I always forget about, but it exists. It doesn't seem to help all that much. Honestly, if you're target firing Banelings, they still die as fast as Banelings that are slow. At least it seems that way. Here comes a Marine unload into the main base, and that is a problem. Oh, is he going to get the Baneling nest? I don't know, but this 3rd base is in trouble. That's a lot of Lings. And the Baneling nest does get sniped down. Nicely done. But the 3rd base is in severe amounts of trouble right now. Do these Lings have upgrades? They got +1/+1. All right, so these are 1/1 Lings. They took down all of the Hellions, which means they now have map control. But the Marines are dropping down here into the 4th base, trying to pick off more of this stuff. Might stop getting around behind these dudes to try to finish them off. The Queens are trying to snipe down these Medivacs, unloading back inside the main. Ling's running over. Queen trying to take down that Medivac and getting smashed in the face with the process. But she does get the Medivac. Nicely done, actually. So 1 Medivac is remaining and doesn't have any energy hardly at all. So might as well just get the heck on out of there. Marines pushing to push this creep back and doing a pretty good job of that. So how many drones have gone down? Oop, Lings surround that drop. A couple of Marines do die. 5 and 5. Only 5 and 5 workers killed after all that. But that Baneling nest got killed and centrifugal hooks got stopped. Ooh, that's a problem for for Solar here. It's not Cyril, it's Solar. He rebuilt the Baneling nest. He's going for the upgrade again. Hey, guess who came back in for the drop? Guess who didn't listen to me? Innovation. He said, you know what? I've got 1 Medivac with no energy and a bunch of Marines that are in various states of health. So what? We got this. Oh, 1 Marine gets his face chewed in. This group back here with the Widow Mine is getting Drilling Claws. He certainly is. Innovation is a fan of the Drilling Claws. Another base coming up for Solar at the 6 o'clock position. Forces a cancel on it. Does Innovation and kills the drone and gets out of there with all 24 HP on that Medivac. Oh, Widow Mines are showing up. Drilling Claws is 10 seconds away from completing. That's going to be a problem for this Ling heavy composition that Solar is rolling with right now. Creep spreading, and there's your scan. There it is. The tumors all die. So it didn't matter they got down before Innovation got there. Anyway, Ling's rolling in. Yep, there's the red laser. The red laser is here, trying to draw friendly fire there. Actually doing a pretty good job with it there. That was not too bad. Friendly fire was great. The Hydras trying to get some shots on these Medivacs. Nice control, actually. 1 Zergling dying to that Widow Mine before it got killed. That was beautiful by Solar, but really, what else do we expect from this guy? High-level, elite-level Zerg player. Creep spread. That's a lot of tumors, man. 12 tumors in production, and I think they're all right here. Pushing up the left side. There's a drop trying to go this way. The more creep spread there is, the harder it is to drop the Zerg player. It is so difficult. Ooh, Widow Mines, again, firing on a Baneling. Okay, see, just not... Okay, that was actually a couple Banelings that died there. That was a problem. That was not great, but Anyway, still sneaking on down this way is Innovation. He's got Marines, he's got Marauders, he's got Widowmines. He has +2/+2, which is so important to have. Is that a Widowmine? Widowmine stuff over here at the third base. Firing. Where's the detection at? Ow. Why? Oh, the Spore Crawler can't detect this guy. Oh, that guy's might be a problem. There are more Widowmines. Oh, it takes me back to Heart of the Swarm so much. The Hydras, I don't think they can stand against this, but if they pick up the Medivacs, they might have a good chance. They're chasing this army back, and Innovation is running for it. This guy just waiting for his chance. The Spore Crawler needs to be here for detection. Oh, okay, so that one's cleaned out. Now this one is cleaned out just in time. Solar knew there was one there. He could tell. You can see a little bit of a depression in the ground where Widowmines are burrowed. It helps if you're actually playing on lower graphics levels. But again, killing more creep tumors here. This is so many dead tumors. So many dead tumors. Oh, it's brutal stuff here. As a Zerg player, it makes me so sad to see tumors cleaned out. But at the same time, as a human, it's kind of satisfying. I don't know. Innovation's maxed out. Solar has 188 supplies going for a Greater Spire. Widowmine's not firing on anything. Solar knows exactly how close he can get without triggering that thing to fire. He really does. Once again, pulling back to the Widowmines. They are going to do some friendly fire. Ouch! Oh, but also catching an Overseer there. Nicely done. And the Widowmines are cleaned out because that's why you have multiple Overseers, so you can get that detection. Innovation taking base at the 12 o'clock position. Got more Widowmines burrowing in at this third, and they're going to fire on these, well, nothings, actually. They got 15 drones? Golly, these Widowmine attacks are doing a lot of work. It's 75 to 63 workers. Innovation has not really been bothered since that first Ling attack at his third. It's been 25 to 5 workers killed so far. And if you're trying to take down Solar, this is probably the best way to do it. Economically destroy him. And then your attacks are suddenly facing smaller armies, as it turns out. Dude, pick off that Banshee. Okay, Banshee dead. Banelings trying to attack. Nope, pulling back. Are they just abandoning this base? Kind of feels like this is an abandonment of this base a little bit. No, he's trying to come in from different angles. Trying to draw Lings in and draw that Widowmine fire before he goes for it, but it doesn't actually work. That's a lot of dead Banelings there, you guys. Widowmine's just doing so much work for Innovation in this game. Hydras attacking the Medivacs. No, Banelings kind of stuck behind the Hydras, but getting target fired anyway. Decent hit. Couple Marauders, couple Marines go down. And just reinforcements keep cruising in here. Defender's advantage really showing up quite nicely as 2 Medivacs go down from Solar. Guess who's over here at the third, though? Yep, it's Marines, it's Marauders, it's Widowmines. These drones are hiding for their lives right now. That actually hit those guys. It certainly did. Banelings clearing most everybody up, though. And then Medivac's getting the heck on out, and the drones go back to work for Solar. This has been a really great game, but it's 200 to 162 supply. Resources lost, 14,000 for Solar, and only 9 for Innovation. Lings, Banelings rolling on in. The Micro's been really good, though. Widowmine's firing on everything Zerg right there. No friendly fire on that one at all. Once again, Banelings trying to roll in. Trying to get rid of the Widowmines. I guess that works. The splash damage will kill them as they're fairly fragile. They just hit like Mack trucks is what they do. There's a drop up here in the top left that's been hiding. Are they empty Medivac? Oh, they're not empty. But he's going to keep an eye on them with Overseers. If you try to move out of there, we'll come back and kill you. That's what Solar is trying to say. The longer this goes, the longer Solar is able to get up that Broodlord tech. And I don't think you have the answer to Broodlord tech. Fusion Core coming in. So Liberators may be the next play here for Innovation, but that's not great against Broodlords. As it turns out, what you want there are Vikings. What you want are Ghosts. Ghosts, again, are just a great answer to all Tier 3 stuff that Zerg can do. Here we go again. Ling, Bane, Hydra, Baneling. No, Solar doesn't like it. The drop came in, and who was not ready for it this time? Solar. Well, he was mostly ready for it. I don't know. Hard to tell. If you're not going to defend this base, says Innovation, I will shoot it. I will take it right down. Thank you very much. Lings, Hydras, Broodlords are here. If they can make something happen, if they can be defended, they can actually work out pretty well. Oh, Innovation wants this hatch, and he ends up getting it. And then he gets the heck on out. 156 to 164 supply. Solar is playing so well right now. He's taken so much damage. He's lost bases, but he's not dead yet. The Broodlords, I think, caught Innovation by surprise. He's not even making really any of the answers I talked about previously for Broodlords. He's making more Marines, more Marauders, and Medivacs. That's all it is. He's working on +3 vehicle and ship plating, which is great for his Medivacs, and nothing else at this point. He doesn't have any tanks or Hellions. Trying to swing on into the third base. The third base has been a favorite target of Innovations throughout this entire game. Hydra's chasing back, Ling's chasing back, trying to get a surround on these guys, and yeah, Some of you will be left behind. Oh, those are just changelings. Is what they are. So Innovation is taking a base down this right side, which is happily mining. Again, he hasn't really been bothered by Solar since that attack on his third, which seems like a million years ago right now. Broodlords. Yeah, trying to make something happen there, but picking up and boosting out. There we go. Quadruple pumping Vikings finally is Innovation. As we can see his Sim City in all of its glory here in his main. Terrans like this stuff. They like looking at this stuff. It's so nice, so encouraging for them. So Planetary Fortress on the right side of the Lings to discover, but I think that's the first time Solar found out about this particular thing. Innovation taking a base in the bottom right-hand corner. Solar at 167 supply, back up to max is our friend Innovation. Marauders leading the pack in case the Banelings are here. Widowmine's here too. I think that Hydrolisk Den is going to die, and I think this base might actually end up going down too. Another attack over this way. This is where the Broodlords are. So down the south is not going as well for Innovation, but this attack at the third base, he wants the hatch. He's been trying to kill it for so long, focusing down drones, calling down Manor Mules at the front here, maybe to mess up with the AI. That is not enough Hydras. What are the Vipers doing? Parasitic Bomb on the Medivacs, possibly. The hatch ends up falling. Those Hydras are all completely dead. There's no answer to Broodlords over here at all. Marching up with the Marauders, 197 to 123 supply. The cost efficiency by Innovation has just been insane in this game so far, and that's your good game. Innovation takes game number 1 against Solar and just looks so good doing it, man. Anytime you can keep so much pressure on the Zerg that they can't counterattack you in any meaningful sense, except for once. One time, +1/+1 Lings got up here, they wiped out the Hellions, they killed a couple SCVs, but in total, guess how many SCVs have died? 5 to 41 drones. To 41 drones. This hatchery died. This hatchery died. There were drops inside the main. It was just really, for the most part, it was double-pronged harass. Coming at the third base, and then also coming at this, sixth. That's a 6th? 1, 2, 5th base. 5th base down here. And it really says a lot that Solar couldn't get anything more than 5 bases up in a 16-minute game. And really, I mean, it was close to max once, but really couldn't just recover any time after that. It's just the Widowmine placements were great. The Vikings were flying in, and I mean, these Broodlords had literally, okay, the support of a Queen was not going to save them. So, I mean, Solar lost that base. He was losing to this Marauder army down here. He had exactly 16 Lings. 16 Lings on the ground, and 6 Broodlords, and a couple in production. And that to be it. So, great job by Innovation, just showing truly what a terror he is. And let's see what happens in game number 2, because I imagine it's going to be as good as game number 1 was. All right, Solar, how do we come back from game number 1? I kind of feel like he got dominated by Innovation just because he couldn't launch an attack on any of Innovation's bases after that attack on the third. He was just under pressure so much. Top left-hand corner in game number 2 here in Dreamcatcher is Solar. He's blue. And in the bottom right is Innovation. He is red. Oh, hold on a second. Hold your horses. This is Proxy stuff. Innovation never sends out a scouting SCV. Oh, hang on. It's even more Proxy stuff because there's another SCV already up here. All right, we're doing some Proxy barracks stuff. Any gas behind this? No, I don't think we really need any at this stage. Look at the Overlord. This Overlord's like, I got this, man. I will scout any proxies that the evil Terran player will bring my... No, you won't. You're going to miss it all. Just the hubris. The sheer hubris of Zerg these days, thinking they can find proxies from Terran and Protoss just using slow Overlords. It chaps my hide, man. It bothers me so much. Because look, no, you didn't see this. You didn't see this. You're not going to be prepared for aggression. If you send one drone down... Boop. Look at the front. Hey, there's not a barracks here. Hey, there's one gas coming up. It's probably going to be Reapers or maybe some Marauder stuff. I don't know. But either way, you just can't carry on with your standard hatch gas pool things, make a handful of Zerglings, and call it good. It drives me nuts. This is Homestory Cup. This is a huge deal. And Solar's just like, well, I feel incredibly confident that there's nothing coming up on my side of the map. I'll continue sending my slow Overlords down this way. And by the time they get there and scout that there's anything to be worried about, it will be too late to react to it. Garumba, are you... Oh, hang on. This drone actually might do more. This drone is going for the quick third and does. Actually, okay, so the scouts it. All right, so maybe, I don't know, that kind of works, I guess. But man, this is... And drones are really good against unupgraded Marines. Okay, now all the drones are losing mining time right now. This is so zero mining time for Solar right now. What has he got? He's got 4 guys working back there in the main. Bunker okay, so the good news is bunkers are never coming up. The bad news is Marines are continuing to join the party. There are 4 of them now. SCVs are here to shield for them too. And you're not going to get a surround on them. Zerglings have come to help with this. The SCV in a great position. Now it's in a bad position to stay alive. This low ground positioning, speaking of positioning, is fantastic by Innovation. Oh, SCV comes over, gets killed. This SCV gets immediately to work. And now we're trying to get up. Oh no, another one died. Okay, so Solar kind of actually defending this pretty well, despite the million years and lost mining time. Dude, if he can get another SCV up here and finish that thing, it'd be so good, but he's not even bothering to send one over. It's just Marines. And not throwing Lings away. Here is Solar, by the way. Okay, he threw that one away. I just jinxed him. Why did I jinx him so bad? Alright, so Marines are here to fight. Okay, I mean, Solar is doing pretty well here for himself, moving the wounded Marine to the back. Dude, another SCV would be so baller. He is sending another one up. So he's going to try to get this thing down, but it's under fire by Zerglings. Queens are hitting at... I don't know, man. This is 2 Queens and a lot of Zerglings, and 1 Marine dies. Another Marine maybe. These guys are all so very wounded, and I mean, these Queens have done amazing at defense right now. Another couple Marines show up. Oh, a transfuse. There's a cancel, and Innovation is going home. All right, fine. Solar managed to hold, but only because he went for a very, very quick third base and happened to go to the location that the Marines and the SCVs were coming from. And he pulled all of his drones, and I'm still not sure how much that lost mining time is going to affect him. It is 22 to 19 workers. Innovation has a lead. He's bringing his barracks home. It's a counterattack of Zerglings right now. And there are Hellions coming in, because of course there's Hellions coming in, because if you don't kill a Zerg player by doing this kind of stuff, he's going to counterattack with the Lings that he made to stay alive, and Hellions are the perfect answer to this. Look at this guy, just casually roasting up 2 Hellions. 2 Lings, rather, taking a couple shots there. The Lings are running away because they don't have speed yet, and they can't hope to compete with a Hellion if they don't have speed. Once they have speed, it's a different show, and it actually is coming up in about 6 seconds here. So the Hellion, I think its time might be a little bit limited here. There is your speed. You got the wings on the Lings. They're very fast now. 5 drones in production. 26 to 25 workers. Expansion coming down for Innovation. Zergling almost gets in for the scout. I think he dodged the wrong way. I think if he dodged into the main, he'd be just fine. Alright, so double barracks coming on in. I don't think Innovation's really lost anything at this stage. Sure, his barracks haven't been producing Marines this whole time. It would have been nice if they'd been able to. And it was a gamble that did not end up in killing the Zerg player, so that's also pretty bad. But again, he necessitated the pulling of almost every single drone off the line for Solar for like a minute in the early game. And you can see it's 28 to 33 workers. Solar should have a bigger, much bigger worker count than Innovation, assuming no further harassment. Here comes a bit of a Hellion drop into the main base. There's a Queen. 3 Queens ready for this. By the way, I mean, you're just not. It's not happening. He's diving in. He's going to get in this mineral line whether you want him to or not. Roasting up a couple of these guys. Any more? 4 of them go down, and then Lings show up, and the medevac is almost dead, so it's time to flee. So 4 drones down. Overlord gets killed by the Viking, which has a really awesome skin, by the way. That is pretty good looking skin. I like it. I like it a lot. So he's going to kill an Overlord, and these Lings can't do anything about it, and then third base is popped for Solar, which is really good. He's been waiting for that for a while, but it's fairly even on the army count. And it's 26, or rather worker count, and it's 28 army supply. What the heck is there 28 army supply? I've seen Roaches pop, I guess. Maybe that's what that is. Roaches and Lings worried about some kind of a Hellion attack coming in from Innovation. And you know what? This is the right answer from Solar. He's got Ravagers. He's got Roaches. He's moving. This Viking sees it. Sees the Roaches and the Ravagers. They're moving across the map. They do not have good things in their intentions, that's for sure. Do you have any tanks at all? Marine count fairly abysmal. These Hellions, they need to get something done. They need to win, because there's not much to stop this counterattack at all. Like, even at all for Innovation. There are SCVs here. They're repairing stuff. There's 3 Marines. There's a couple bunkers trying to go down, but Crosabile says no bunkers for you. This has been Solar's personal mission in life, is to make sure bunkers never finish. Oh, that one finished. And that one did too. Crucible saving it. And looks like Innovation might be able to do this thing at all. After all, he got his bunkers down. Oh, and he got a tank out on that high ground. Okay, now Solar is in a lot of trouble. Now he's in a heck of a lot of trouble. He's got the Lings, but they can't really do much against this wall. Take a tank fire on that ramp. Sacrificial Zergling for sure. Coming on up, trying to Crucible down that bunker, or if they can get it. They got the supply depots that the Lings are in. They're trying to kill the SCVs that are repairing these bunkers, but the bunkers are pretty darn healthy. This tank has been shelling everybody for the entire time, and that's it. Solar can't get through. Innovation ends up winning that game just because this was not working for him all that well. Wow. All right. So Innovation takes a 2-0 lead in this best of 5, which is hard to come back from in a best of 5. It's not a best of 7, it's a best of 5, and just so much more to go. All right. So third base here from Solar never really got saturated, and I don't know. I mean, I guess if I'm being honest with myself, I feel like Solar had come back and he was okay economically. If he'd wanted to take a third base and then a fourth base and just play this macro style, he could have. But instead he chose to go for the counterattack with the Roaches and the Ravagers, and he almost got it. If he almost got that thing. If he'd been able to kill those bunkers that were under construction, that would have been it. I really think that would have been it for Innovation, but it's a game of seconds, man. Shows up a little bit later. Innovation gets those bunkers done just in time. The tank comes out. The bunkers are holding, and this is just... This might be my thumbnail for this game. The tank up there on the high ground, everybody exploding. And that's all she wrote. All right, let's come back with more from these guys. See what Game 3 has to offer. Can Innovation do the sweep? I don't know. I don't know if Innovation can do a sweep here or not. We'll have to take a look. So stick with me and we'll be right back. Game 3 is here on Blue Shift, the ladder edition. Bottom left is the Zerg. He is blue, as he has been this entire series. And as you can guess, Innovation is wearing red in the top right. Okay, so Blue Shift. A map that has been in the map pool for a very, very long time at this point. Redshift was removed because it was a little bit too weird for the player base, I feel. But I don't know. I kind of liked the games that I cast on there. Okay, so not sending Proxy SCVs across the field is Innovation, and hunting for proxies very intently is this Sloverlord. Very, very intently. Over this, is that, wait a second, I never realized that's water. Is that weird? Is that weird that I never realized this is water? It's like a really, very huge hot tub. There's bubbles in there. It's percolating. I kind of feel like, what's the biggest hot tub of all time? I think the bigger it goes, the harder it is to implement. Like most things. Alright, so Hatch first here from Solar. He's reasonably sure there's nothing coming up. No proxies coming up from Innovation, but once again, how can you be sure unless you worker scout? I know he survived it, but it just drives me crazy. He wouldn't have to pull all of his drones. If he scouted it, went pool first, he'd have Lings ready to go. His drones could happily be mining, and he'd just win. I think he could have won that game if he'd worker scouted. That's something I have not said. Haven't said about that last game. Okay. I feel like if he had pool first because he saw there were no barracks inside Innovation's base, he'd have Lings ready to meet those Marines, Lings and Queens, and would shut it down hardcore, and the counterattack would be so much more powerful than it was. And I think he wins that game. So, I'm going to give Solar a loss based on refusing to drone scout. And he's not doing it here either because he never will. He's just not. All right, so Reaper on the way. Reaper's name is Fawful. I have fury! Fawful will be flying away to a place without the annoying red and green mustaches, who he hates. Fawful will engage in a tasty sandwich of flying and shooting all of the fink rats topped with delicious mustard on explosives. A Reaper is Fawful. I don't know what this is. Is it in reference to a falafel? That's a food? Do you have mustard on falafel? I don't know if you do. Alright, so Reaper coming in, and Queen's on the way, and Ling's here, and here's the dance, and I don't know, man. I kind of want to see somebody mix up the meta in ZVT a little bit, to where it's not this same Reaper-Ling dance, and it really doesn't matter what happens, because the Queen pops out anyway, and sure, maybe you kill a Zergling, or maybe the Reaper dies early and steals some of the scouting information from Innovation later, but I don't know, man. It is just not as fun to watch as the openings from the other matchups. I mean, it's kind of exciting. Like, I'll give you that. I'll give you it's exciting. Like, maybe the Reaper will kill all of the Zerglings, and it'll be amazing, and maybe the Reaper will die, but just for the most part, nah. Nah, I say scouts, sees no double gas. KDA charge blows those drones back. Ling's trying to get a surround on this guy. Can't do it because he is a Reaper guy, and he's going to scout the third base on his way out. So good job, Fawful. Good job staying alive. Hellion follow-up for innovation, as is tradition in this matchup. And there we go. Tech Lab on the starport. His Banshee did really well for himself in game number 1. And again, this is Solar's back against the wall. If he loses this thing, he's done. He's out. He's going to the losers bracket in the Homestory Cup. And nobody wants to go there. Nobody wants to go where the losers are. So he's going to try to win this thing as hard as he can. He's going to try to come back against a 2-0 deficit to innovation. But just saying that really it hurts. It's really hard to say, even to believe in it. Where the heck is the other Hellion? Wait, did he skip? How many Hellions does he have? 3. What a weird number of Hellions. All right, so he's got 3. 2 back home. 1 up here with his buddy, the Reaper. Comes in for the scout. Once again, does not see the starport. That's the exact same read that he saw in game number 1. Where's our Reaper at? Where is he? He's here. He's got his buddies. And there's your third base coming up in the wall. Again, I'm having some major deja vu here. This is playing out almost exactly like game number 1 was, but it's not. It's not game number 1. It's different. It is different just enough. Just enough, and it's on a different map, which is a big deal. It's lost and found for game 1, but it's just playing out so similarly. We do have Roaches and Ravagers, though, from Solar. Very, very early Roaches and Ravagers from this guy. He is hitting pretty hard. There's a Banshee coming up. Banshees are pretty good at shutting this stuff down. And now Innovation knows. He saw it with his Reaper. He's going to go ahead and immediately toss down a bunker back here. He's going to go ahead and keep the command center. It's a nice wall. Takes a long time for Roaches and Ravagers to kill one of these things. And here we go. Here come our guys. Here comes Solar's Roaches and Ravagers. Can Innovation hold against this thing? Is the question of the day. The Banshee is just going to start working on the Ravagers immediately. Bunker, actually not even being target fired there. Ravager 1 down. Roach going to go down here too, but we're inside. This is a lot of Zerglings and a lot of Roachers. Roaches. Where's your tank? Is your tank out yet? No, but there are Widow Mines and Corrosive Bile them right on down. Thank you very much. Zerglings fighting against, oh, is that a Reaper? I think our Reaper just died in the corner there, unfortunately for him. And trying to hold the natural base. It doesn't, wow, it gets lifted too late. This Banshee has 7 kills, and the Banshee might be the sole reason the Innovation stays alive here. He's going to lose his engineering base, which hurts a lot. Those are good for upgrades, man. Those are really good for future upgrades. He's going to lose those. The double Banshee can't kill the Lings fast enough to save those buildings. And Innovation is stuck on 1 base right now. Sure, okay, he'll land his natural back here again, but for the time being, he's on 1 base. And Solar's on 3, and it's 40 to 38 workers. And sure, Innovation has a lot of workers. But, there we go. Now putting them to work at the natural. So slowed it down there. Resources off, 2,100 for Solar. 1,700 for Innovation. It is 5 kills and 12 kills on those Banshees. See, without those Banshees, Innovation is dead. That's another reason you make Banshees as a Terran player, as a follow-up to your opening with the Hellions against Zerg. Is 1, they're good offensively. They're good at shutting down, you know, worker lines and things like that, picking off queens here and there. But also amazing at base defense against Roach Ravager, because none of those things can shoot up. And your Banshees can just have a great old time picking them off and thinning their ranks and make it easier for you to hold when it shows up at your front door. Not that it's easy to hold, mind you. Innovation, I'm sure he was sweating a little bit there, making sure that they didn't get up that ramp. The Roaches Ravagers never got up there, but not a great place to be. All right, so Banshees. I'm going to go ahead and try to pick off some of these drones. They're going to get a couple. Yeah, that's 2. That's 2 of them, but detection's already present. Queen here hiding with her Spore, pulling back the drones to make sure they don't die. Babysit them pretty well here as Solar, which is fair. He doesn't have much else to do other than babysit his workers. So he's droning up. He's making some more Roaches. He really is committing to this Roach Ravager style, which it has a timer on it. It really does. Like Marine Marauder, Medevac doesn't really have a timer on it. But for Roach Ravager, if you can't kill the Terran player and they're going bio within about 12 minutes, you're just going to lose. The upgrades start to scale. 3/3 Marines and Marauders are so good at handling Roach Ravager, even if the Roach Ravagers are equally upgraded, which they never are because your upgrades are slower for Zerg in general. And here we go, trying to get on in. Nope, Lings at the main base, Roaches at the third base. How does the natural look? Says Innovation. Is this no? All right, well, We're actually just kind of stuck here. Holy smokes, is that a full medevac that just went down? Dang! You can't do that, Innovation. Just lost an entire medevac full of dudes for nothing. That was well defended by Solar. That is about as good as you can do. Creep spread pushing out. Fourth base, I think, going to go up here based on the Overlord placement there. Link comes into Scout. It's going to be Marine, Marauder, Tank, Banshee. Overlord picked off on the edge of the creep. Marine picked up and saved from getting hit by a big old bucket of acid saliva off of that Roach, which cannot feel good. Even if you don't die, you kind of have to be like, ow. That ow is generally the feeling there, I believe is how that goes. All right, so Zergling coming up to the third base. Not a big Zergling attack as we saw in game number 1, but just, you know, is there a third base? Absolutely there is. Here come the Roaches. Here come the Ravagers. Man, this is it. This is all the eggs in this basket for Solar. He needs to kill Innovation here, or I think he's just going to lose, and he's going to go down 3-0, and that'll be it for him in the entire series. What are the upgrades on this dude? Does he have the 1-1? He almost has the 1-1. There it is, coming up on the right side. Thank you, Game Hearts. Missile attack and ground carapace level 1 is completing in 3 seconds. Let's go. You're going to have a small advantage here. You know the upgrades are a little bit delayed. Innovation does have his 1-1, but he doesn't have his 2-2 that he normally would have at this stage because you killed both of his engineering bays. All right, man. Corrosive Biles going down, landing on missile turrets, trying to kill whatever they can. They really need to focus down the tanks, who cannot move. One tank down. Another tank getting focused down here, too. A lot of the bio is just getting cleaned up by these Roaches, though. In these numbers, the Roaches are trading really efficiently. Another tank down, another tank showing up. SCVs getting pulled off the line. 15 of them have been killed so far, but Innovation can afford to do this because if you don't kill a Terran player all the way, they are not all the way dead. But this is a lot of dead workers. Wow. 37 SCVs down. The front door is just a mass of Roaches and Ravagers, and Queens are here, too, to transfuse as necessary. They are through the wall. The natural base is going to die again. The third base is alive for some reason I don't know, and Solar does manage to take game number 3 and stay alive in the series. Man, again, all the eggs in that basket, that was as all-in as you could get. If he loses with this thing, I don't think he can win the game or the series, but now he can. Now he is very capable of winning this whole darn thing. Roach Ravager 1-1, killing the engineering bays early was huge. The Marines and Marauders couldn't hold quite as well because their upgrades were worse than they normally would be. 2-2 was on the way, but it was quite a bit away. And yeah, third base was gone, natural base was gone, army supply was 34 for Innovation. He specifically had 7 Marines, 2 Marauders, and 5 medevacs. Yeah, that was not going to hold. So good job by him tapping out. Losses 9,000 to 6,800. In favor of Solar, killed a ton of SCVs, but I really feel like even if that SCV count is what it is, and this all gets cleaned up, Innovation's okay. That is just the nature of Terran, is they can come back from losing a lot of workers. Oh, and Solar took his 4th down here. I was wrong about that. Okay, let's see. Can Solar hang on and come down from a 2-0 deficit versus Innovation to continue on in this Homestory Cup? I don't rightly know. I don't know, but we'll find out. Stick with me. We'll be back in just a second. Solar has bought himself some time by winning the last game. Can he force a game 5, or is he destined to lose here and move on to the loser's bracket? Acid Plant will be the place that you can learn what will happen. Bottom right-hand corner is Solar, he's blue. Top left corner is Innovation, he's red. I tried to make a song out of that, but I don't think it went very well. Okay, so no proxies here from Innovation. Oh, and a refinery first. That is... Refinery first, eh? What shenanigans are you up to here, Innovation? Delays the barracks just a little bit. Just a little bit here. This cannot possibly be for a Reaper opening because you'll have way more gas than you need when this barracks finishes. I'm going to say maybe Cyclones? Cyclones aren't great against Zerglings. They're good against Roaches. They're okay against Ravagers. They're okay against Queens. Great against static defense, but Solar's not going to do any static defense in the early game. At least not Spinecrawler. I don't know. Love to see what's going on. Solar, as always, Soul Overlord scouting for Proxy. He's not going to find any this game. And just hatch gas pool. And a quick third. So, I don't know, man. I mean, check this out. There's your gas. Okay, so he did go for the Reaper. So the Reaper comes out. He still has 70 gas in the bank, though, after making the Reaper. So there's your expansion. Reaper's name is going to be Rachel, the Community Service Manager. Rachel, in theory, ran the Dominion's community services system, making sure low-level convicts do their assigned crimes. However, Emperor Mengsk changed the laws, so the only acceptable community service was serving in the Reaper program. Rachel complained, pointing out that shoplifters and pot smokers were effectively given a death sentence. For that complaint, Rachel was convicted of disturbing the peace and assigned community service. Alright, Rachel, bad times. At least you have an awesome looking suit. The Emojin suit is pretty fantastic. Lights on the shoulders, double big old guns there. It's nice. You got fire coming out of your back too. Can't argue with that. So there's your third base at sub. That thing started at sub 2 minutes, you guys. That's a really, really fast third here from Solar. He's playing the style. He's trying to do the Cyril stuff. He's trying to make this thing happen against innovation. And is it going to work? I don't know. I don't know. That's why I cast these games. There's your double gas. And there is your factory. And it can't be Hellion. Is it just Hellion, though? Maybe it is. Maybe innovation is just going Hellion after all. He has a lot of gas in the bank. There's your double Hellion opening. And there's your starport. Okay, so maybe that's all this is. Maybe he's been going super gas heavy early, and I just haven't noticed. I've been too busy focusing on Solar, and this is just his build. This is what he's been doing, is going for this quick cloak Banshee stuff, and having the early gas helps him get there faster. So fair enough, dude. I'm down with it. That mule tried to transfer to the natural base, and it died on the ramp. How embarrassing is that? Marine is out, going to chase the Overlord away. Is the Overlord once again going to see the starport? No, not even close that time. Rachel scouts the third base, says, I see. Third base already up. Nothing too crazy here from Solar. I should be prepared for this, no problem. Overlord does get over to the high ground, he thinks, but the barracks is floating over to make sure there's nowhere to hide. Such a great move by Innovation. He doesn't live. There's no way. Okay, I was going to say, he had like 1 hit point right there. Okay, fair enough. Fair enough indeed. Double Hellion and a Reaper moving out as they are wont to do in this matchup. It is a quick Liberator this time, actually. Not a Banshee at all. So it's going to show up faster than the Banshee would. Solar woefully unprepared for this. That Reaper, or that Liberator rather, is done. And moving out across the map, Rachel has joined with her Hellion compatriots, and they're going to try to get something done here, but being pretty careful, being pretty circumspect with their lives here. Another Overlord for the scout, sees the third command center on the way, says, alright, so this isn't a crazy 2-base all-in or anything. Innovation's trying to get to the macro style where he feels completely comfortable, and based on game 1, I can't blame him for feeling comfortable with that. Alright, so Liberator coming into our third base. There is a Spore coming up. 3 Spores coming up. They build pretty quickly. You want to set up with the third or maybe go to the natural. Just more time for the Spores to come up, honestly. Wherever you decide to go means a Liberator. And there we go. Gonna set up, gonna get a couple drone kills. Maybe just the one. Maybe just the one. Oh, why did you cancel the Spore? Maybe he feels like he doesn't need a Spore. Oh, drone came in, got absolutely blasted there. Oh, get out of the circle. Oh, all the queens show up though. Alright, so yeah, I don't know about that. 4 Hellions and Reaper coming in. Rachel and Buddy. He's trying to get something done, but no, not really. So 2 drones die. Liberator gets picked out there. That wasn't exactly what Innovation was looking for. Good reaction time there by Solar. And actually, diving into the third base, line them up. Line up those drones, not lining them up. And the queens are stabbing him away. So Innovation looks like he's going to get his wish. This feels like a pretty macro-heavy, macro-style game with multiple bases from everybody involved. And it's going to be a grand old time. Innovation can attack from multiple angles at once. And Solar will have to defend. Now, can Solar defend well enough to where he's maxed out and can afford to send some units out on harassing missions himself? Or is he going to be defending so hard that every unit that pops out of his hatcheries is going to have to be used in a defensive capacity? Entirely possible, honestly. It is. I guess while nothing much is happening here, we're just going for Banelings and +1/+1 and Marines and Marauders and stuff. There is a store. You can buy Falcon Paladin shirts, and you can buy a pillow with my logo on it. You can also get stuff for the podcast out there too. There's a link in the description if you want to check that out. Also, one of the cards in the top right here will take you there. And just also check out Patreon if you feel like supporting me financially. For all the casts that I put out every single day of the week, then feel free to go there. But no pressure to do so as Rachel gets picked off by Speedlings after scouting the 4th base. Aight, so third base running here for Innovation. He's got Hellions, he's got a tank. He's defending pretty well against any Ling counterattacks that might show up. Perhaps he's learned his lesson after game number 1. A tank getting a quick shot off on those dudes, and then the Hellions roasting them up. Pretty great stuff. Creep spread looking pretty healthy for Solar 2. Centrifugal hooks might actually finish on time this game instead of getting canceled as it was in game number 1. 4th base 50% complete by Solar. He is in a pretty good spot. It's pretty similar to game number 1. This is where the ball kind of started to unravel. This is where everything that Solar was trying to do started to fall apart, as there's this little double medevac drop. It's 6 minutes, almost 7 minutes in. It is late compared to the normal 5.5 minute drop that we usually see with a particular composition. But 3rd base came down earlier, and here we go. There are some Marauders in this mix too. Oh, just kidding. That's a Widow Mine. That's a Widow Mine. That is not a place to unload either, so Innovation is going to get the heck on out of there. 1-1 was finishing just in time for that drop, with just the timing that displays is just disgusting from Innovation. I mean, it's really great. Great Wall of Supply Depots at the 3rd base is dealing with any Ling incursions. Got to bring some Banelings to get through that wall, my friends. Another drop coming down this side, trying to unload here just outside. And no, Widow Mine's not firing. That would be a friendly fire situation, wouldn't it? Nice transfuse on the Queen, keeping her alive. That was gorgeous by Solar. That was so very good. Drop going to try to sneak back on in to this main base, and you know what? The army's out of position. They're running. They're trying to get there, but the unload is going to finish. Spore Crawler trying to burrow on in and maybe pick up a couple of these medics, but it gets 2 shots off before it dies. Widow Mine, friendly fire. No, that was not friendly fire at all. A lot of stuff went down there. Another drop sneaking around to the natural base. Does not land at the 3rd as I thought it would. It goes to the natural where there's a lot of stuff waiting actually, and it's not going to work out all that well. Wow. All right, so gets cleaned up. Medevacs are still alive, but it's kind of the big deal. Couple changelings up here freaking me out, making me see red. Picking off an Overlord here, Marines, Drilling Claws, and Research. +2/+2 getting started for Solar. His upgrades are on point this game. 2-2 on the way from Innovation, but you expect that from a Terran player. All right, so far so good from Solar. He's got his 4th base. It's happily running. 4th base is under construction here for Innovation. It looks pretty darn... I mean, there's some Hellbats defending it. They'll do really well against Lings, but 2-2 Lings, don't underestimate those guys. If you have enough of them, I think they could handle this. But again, that's generally the rule with everything. If you have enough of anything, they can take the thing that generally counters them. Right. Infestation Pit at 8.5 minutes from Solar. Drop here at the 3rd base. Just Marines. They kill a Queen. Medevac gets picked off. Oh, where's your boost? The boost is there, and it's enough to get them the heck on out of there. Is what it is. So 162 to 173 supply. Innovation is up, but Solar is really starting to crank into standard Zerg mode right now, where he's on 4 bases. Oh, that Widow Mine shot was disgusting. Oh, that was such a good Widow Mine shot. So many Zerglings died to that thing. Widow Mines, man. I played a mono battle as part of the Falcon Plays with his YouTube subscribers thing out on Twitch the other day, and I went Zergling. Oh, friendly fires there. More Widow Mines dying, and once again, pretty well defended here by Solar. So I went Zergling, and somebody else went Widow Mine, and it was just like, well, everywhere I went, there were Widow Mines waiting, and like to get anywhere, I had to send 1 Zergling out, try to see if there's a Widow Mine there, and then there were 6 Widow Mines, and it was like, how do I get them all to fire and clean them up? It was just a huge pain in the butt. It was just the worst experience I've had in a mono battle, I think. And at the end of the game, the Widow Mine player actually had the biggest army of anybody, so that just he knew what he was doing, and he was pretty great against the Hydralisks we also had on the ground and our Void Rays. So yeah, Mass Widow Mine, not too shabby. All right, so Baneling's trying to fire here. This is a great place to set it from Innovation. This is so hard for Solar to engage into, but Innovation pulling away from it anyway. He doesn't want to be predictable. It seems he's clearing out creep tumors. Doesn't want this creep to get up towards his front door, as it makes it harder and harder for him to move away and see any of this stuff coming. Drop at the 3rd base. Widow Mine's getting some shots off. We finally get to see these. He's been doing this since game 1, and I'm not really paying attention to them as well as I should. But chases it away. A couple Widow Mines do get killed. 1 manages to escape in the medevac. Attack coming down this way. Lings see that and pay for it with all of their lives. Ling's going to join up with the party. 196 to 187 supply. We are dead close right now. And once again, Ling Bling Hydra just trying to make this thing happen. Nice Widow Mine shot on a lot of those Baneling. Good positioning. Not enough, though. Innovation picks up. His right side attack is swinging on in, though. The army for Solar is trying to get here in time to stop this from happening, but I just don't see that being the case right now. A lot of Banelings getting target fired here, too. Hatchery gets target fired, and bam! The 4th base goes down. It's now 3 base to 3 base. Widowmine firing on that Overseer, just evaporating it entirely. A drop coming into the 3rd again. This is just what Innovation has been trying to do this entire series, except the time he proxied, is get to this point in the game where you can harass Solar from multiple angles, make him defend while expanding like crazy behind it, killing bases, killing Spore Crawlers, Widowmines firing on whatever he can. It's this Marine Marauder Widowmine medevac strategy, which again was so dang prevalent in Heart of the Swarm and kind of fell off when they nerfed the Widowmine to do not be cloaked after it fired. Oh, they left. They left the 3rd base and let Innovation drop here. This is just Terran porn right now. This is Innovation is showing exactly how well you can do against a Zerg player when you have the power of multi-drops and you have the power of Widowmines and stuff. So this drop gets cleaned up, but a couple more drones do go down with it. Has to kill his own creep tumor to replace his 4th. What a major problem. 5th is done, though, for Solar. He's got some Vipers defending it, which is weird, but a 5th base by Innovation is also done here, too, upgrading to a planetary fortress. So we got Corruptors in production. We're trying to get up to that Broodlord again. Solar is going for the same strategy he was in game number 1. Does he have the Greater Spire? He certainly does, and there it is in all of its glory. High ground attacks on this 5th is not a great place to actually mine from, as it turns out, but Hydras can trade pretty well in these situations. Man, that burrowing time is so fast when you have Drilling Claws. It is so fast getting picked off. Hydra's trading pretty well here. I already know I said that, but it's really important. Parasitic Bomb being tossed down on those medevacs, forcing them to flee, taking that AoE damage. And I mean, I know you want to harass this from this high ground here, but if only a few of you can attack at the same time and all the Hydras can attack, it's not a great place. Not a great place for you at all. Changelings expiring on the creep. Very tragic stuff here, but it's 200 and 167 supply. 79 to 66 workers. Innovation is just... The 5th base is toast. The 4th base is trying to come back in, but it's just not working at all for Solar right now. He's got Broodlords in production. He has 7 of them. Ghost Academy about done for Innovation. He's more prepared for it this time. He knows what's coming. Extractor picked off at the 3rd base of Solar. He needs that gas to go for the tech that he's going for. Decent Baneling hits, but not really. Widowmine firing on those guys. Does have 2 kills. Trading so efficiently right now is Innovation. Hydralisks chasing back. Broodlords picking off a small group of bio here on a ledge. I guess they were trying to maybe... Man, look at this Marauder. Just doing work. Doing work. 3-3 is done for the Marines and the Marauders, by the way. Widowmine actually firing on one of those Broodlords, which is pretty nice. Trying to attack into the 3rd base again, but that's too many Ling and too many Hydra. It's not enough bio from Innovation to break that thing. That said, again, 5 bases. He hasn't really been bothered at all. Number of SCVs killed in this game is 0, and 25 drones have been killed as of the 14-minute-and-a-half mark. Replacing his 5th is Solar. He might end up losing. Nah, the larva will be fine. There is creep spread here. Marines, Marauders dancing around up top. This small group, once again, just being in the wrong place at the wrong time. They're trying to poke in, but Solar's doing a good job splitting up his army to where he has enough to defend the 3rd base, enough to defend the 5th base, enough to defend the 4th base. He's really trying to get into the late game here, but he needs to get some pressure on Innovation, and he's just not able to do it. He's at 156 supply. And losing all those bases and losing all those workers really slowed him down. An attack coming in, the pretty big, intimidating, largely Marauder army here, which means that Broodlords are going to be amazing against this. Everybody left behind is not having a good time. A drop moving into the main base. What defense is here? It's an open, empty wasteland. Innovation very happy to see that. No Spore Crawlers, no Zerglings. The Broodlords are coming in to try to chase them, but they are slow. Lets them use their immobility. Thank you very much. Ling's trying to come in and get a surround here. No. Hydra's going to come in. That's a better place to be. Baneling's helping as well. Medevac's getting picked out of the sky. Solar needed to wipe this thing out, and he did without really losing a whole lot. Adrenal Glands is coming in from Solar 2. Hydra's attacking from distance. Can the Lings buffer enough here? Corruptor's actually getting some shots off on the Medevacs too, which is really nice. As he's still... Man, still trying to drop stuff up the 5th base, I guess, but getting cleaned out by those Broodlords. Oh, we've been on upgrades for a while. Sorry about that. 4 Ghosts in production and Personal Cloaking on the way from Innovation. I just think we're going to see these Broodlords get melted unless we get some good Fungal, some Baneling hits, some Broodling hits, anything that can interrupt that cast time. It's 1.5 cast time, 1.5 seconds on the cast time. And oh, by the way, there's also a huge Viking contingent. So 5 Vikings at a time being produced from Innovation. He knows exactly what he needs to do to shut this thing down. Innovation taking the base in the top right-hand corner, because why not? At this stage, single Broodlord. No, he dead. Hydra's Banelings. Nope, 5th base goes down again for the 2nd time in this game. Solar is just bleeding. He's bleeding so heavily right now. He's been punched in the face several times by Innovation. He's lost bases. Sure, these guys might actually die, but I really feel like that might be Innovation just freeing up supply for more Vikings. How many Vikings does he have? 12, and he's making 6 more. He's going to have 18 Vikings, which probably honestly is overkill if you're just trying to deal with a handful of Broodlords that Solar has. He doesn't have that many. It's like 8. Not like he has 15 or 20 of them, but jeez. All right, what are the upgrades on those guys? They do have +2 plating. They don't have any attack upgrades at all, which is kind of what you want if you're sniping down Broodlords. But again, that bonus damage to the massive units is exactly what you need here against the... That's always been the answer to Broodlords, is Vikings, ever since the Wings of Liberty. So 5th base here by Solar is a bit in trouble, as Broodlords have found it. But where's our Viking group? Where is the Viking group? Here it is. 1 Broodlord down, several Broodlords down, steady targeting on a lot of the stuff here. Viper's getting picked out of the sky quite nicely as well. The Vikings are not getting Parasitic Bomb. The Hydras from ground are actually doing pretty well against them. Hydra's really some of the best anti-air in the game. They can actually clear out those Vikings quite effectively, but expanding on the left side too is Innovation. His 6th base is up, his 7th base is trying to go down. Solar is just desperately trying to cling to these 5 bases that he has. He's getting out-expanded by Innovation right now. Innovation is just on a tear. He's A-moving through this. Everything that comes in is just dying. He's trying to steady target a little bit. The Vikings are apparently just going to have free reign on these Broodlords. There's a handful. There we go. More Hydras are showing up here. The Vikings pushing further into territory that they probably don't belong. Widowmine's trying to burrow under these Broodlords. Yeah, it's not been an all-at-once thing, but all the Broodlords are completely dead. It's 199 to 111 supply. Baneling's trying to take out these Ghosts, trying to pick off some of these Medevacs, trying to maybe attack into that base, but nope. Innovation is your winner. 3 games to 1. Game 3 is over in 18 minutes and 31 seconds. Just an absolute dominant performance here from Innovation today. You Terran fans must be very, very happy about that. 36,000 losses for Solar compared to 26. 26 for Innovation. How many workers died? 6. 6 workers were killed by Solar. It's just, he didn't kill that many except for that one game where he did end up winning. It makes a difference, man, to kill workers, but really didn't kill any bases of Innovation in the 2 longer macro games that we had. Never really got serious pressure up, except maybe at this moment, but it was too late. All the Broodlords were gone. Your tier 3 stuff is very hard to hold on to if you're Zerg, if there are Ghosts on the ground, if there are Vikings in the sky. When you have... Are they in the mid? They're in mid-landing sequence, aren't they? What a weird little thing that is. But yeah, it's just hard to keep your tier 3 stuff if the Terran player responds appropriately, as Innovation did for sure in this last game. Gorgeous, gorgeous stuff. All right, well, good job, Innovation, and that's going to be it from me. So this has been Falcon Paladin coming at you with yet another edition of StarCraft2 Legacy of the Void and your Sunday series. Go ahead, hit that like button, hit that subscribe if you like what you saw and what you heard today. You can also catch me on Twitter, Facebook, Patreon, and Twitch, all at /Falcon Paladin. And until next time, as always, thank you so much for watching, and you take care of yourself.